Hey leaders, this is our Easter Madness leader training for safe ministry with children. If you have already done module 1, fantastic. If you haven't, stay tuned because we are going to be doing a bit of a crash course on safe ministry with children. So what is safe ministry with children? The government has given a Children's Act, and everyone sort of interprets that act differently. And the way that the Uniting Church within Queensland has interpreted that act to filter down to the synod and to our presbyteries and to all our congregations is the Safe Ministry with Children's policy. So the Safe Ministry with Children's training is a suite of documents. So this is where all of our policies, our understanding of that particular act, all the processes, all the guidelines, and all the tools are there to help shape the church's vision, mission, and ministry to young people within Queensland Synod with all the Uniting Churches there. The 3 core elements of safe ministry with children are that one, that it is a positive culture. Okay, so we want to create that culture to make sure that it is a welcoming atmosphere, that everyone feels included and respected within the ministry as well as the mission, and also that everyone feels confident enough to raise even the smallest concerns that they may have about anyone else. If they feel that that's not a bit right, or that feels a bit off or a bit iffy, they feel confident to raise that concern. The second core element of safe ministry with children is that the environment that we conduct our ministry, that it reduces opportunities for physical, social, spiritual, or emotional abuse, and that all the environments that we conduct our activities are safe as well. So when we make sure before we do Easter Madness, we are doing our risk assessment as well, ensuring that all the activities that we ask our campers to participate in are safe. We make sure that the environment, the physical environment, is safe, as well as emotional and spiritual as well. And lastly, the core element for safe ministry with children is that it is a system that is robust and accessible. So all the policies, procedures, guidelines, notes, and tools to help assist all the churches is done in a safe way and with accountability, that it's easily accessible as well. So at Easter Madness, we want everyone and every young person, every camper, to be safe and feel safe and respected as they participate in Easter Madness. So we expect adults to help make sure this happens. So when I talk about an adult, you are the leader. So anyone that is over 18 is an adult. Anyone that is under 18 is a child, is regarded legally as a child. So this is what we call the culture of shared guardianship. This is quite important as we look at module 1 of safe ministry with children. The culture of shared guardianship is a positive culture in which everyone plays an important role. And for that to happen, every event that has been planned to make sure that it is safe as possible. I talked about our risk assessments. So all the people who lead and help with the activities, particularly at Easter Madness, have been screened, trained, and also are committed to physical, social, spiritual, and the emotional safety of children and young people. All right. So the training, it is always really hard with events because they are always one-off. If I've known you and I trust you, but that even with that, there's always some limits on trust as well. But I try and make sure that those who are coming know what they're doing as well as leaders at Easter Madness. To help make sure this happens in practice, so this culture of shared guardianship, we expect all leaders, all adults to work together to ensure the safety and well-being of all of our campers who come to Easter Madness. Within this culture of shared guardianship, leaders should also feel confident to raise even the smallest concerns about a camper's well-being. So if you feel that a camper is, being overlooked or disrespected in any way, or you feel concerned about another leader, this is your opportunity to feel confident to come and have a chat with either myself or the Easter Madness coordinator, which is Lasani. So in Safe Ministry with Children, what do we expect from you? So no matter what your role is or how old you are, we expect that you act in a way that is safe for others. You are responsible for your own conduct and behavior, and you will also be held responsible. To do this, we need to have a clear understanding of what behaviors are acceptable in relation to children and how to interrupt and report behaviors that is not acceptable. The range of acceptable behaviors are outlined in the Safe Ministry with Children statement of personal commitment and are grouped as physical, emotional, behavioral, and spiritual boundaries. Not only is this, we've moved that personal statement of commitment into the leader's code of conduct as well. So you will have them all there. So what do these particular expectations include? They include appropriate physical contact, okay? So one, that it is in full view and not sexual, and also that it is initiated by the camper and not by you as a leader. If you are a person who is a touchy-feely person, that's all good. You continue to be you. We're not asking you to be any different. We want you to be everything that you are and bring who you are to Easter Madness. However, being aware that other people are not touchy-feely people as well. So if you are that kind of person, appropriate physical contact means not taking away a camper into a secluded room so that you can hug them. That is what we mean, okay? And also that it is initiated by the camper. We also include meeting adult to child ratios for activities. So within the Queensland Synod, the ratio for those who are under 5 is 2 leaders to every 5 kids. Those who are above 6 is 2 adult leaders to every 6 kids. So in planning Easter Madness, we need to be aware that we have enough leaders for the amount of campers that are coming on board. What it also is included is being a positive role model, respecting rights of others as well. And I will talk a bit more about this in the other expectations of you as an Easter Madness leader. Avoiding activities that show disrespect, cause isolation or embarrassment. And we also need to be working as part of a team. You know, it's not just those who plan Easter Madness. We as leaders are all part of one team. We're there to try and help make this camp, this experience, an awesome experience for all campers. All right. So we have an approved plan, and we have some approved content as well that has been given the AOK from my sort of governing overarching body, which is the Presbytery Standing Committee. So when you are a leader, trying not to share any inappropriate images or messages with the campers. That is really important. Also, don't take any photos of campers or videos during this time as well. We will have an official photographer on site. So let's just leave that up to them. There are some campers who have said that they would not like any photos taken of them. So we need to be able to respect that. Being sober and drug-free when you come to Easter Madness would be great, okay? So if you are a smoker, try not to do it over the weekend, but if you really need to, don't do it in the view of the campers. Turn up to Easter Madness sober would be fantastic. Okay, party afterwards. All right, party afterwards, because that's what I'm gonna do. And also use positive behavior management strategies with children. If you realize that in your small group there is someone who's leading the conversation where other people haven't been able to contribute to the discussion, being able to do some creative strategies. Say, hey, I don't think we've heard everybody within the small groups, so I'm going to hold on to that thought and we'll come back to you. All right. Also, for those who are acting up, there may be some issues that are going on at home that we don't know about. So not every child is naughty. I don't believe that. Every child does have an attitude, but every child is good. And we need to be able to bring that good out by showing them some love, some joy, and a really good fun time during these next 4 days. And it's just 4 days. Hold on. Okay, so I'm going to be talking now about boundary violations. We talked about the expectations that we expect of our leaders, and they were divvied up into 4 categories: physical, emotional, spiritual, and behavioral. So the expectations, that we talked about. So what happens when you see someone sort of stepping outside of those particular boundaries? Even if it's a close friend of a leader, a family member, or even myself or the coordinator, what happens when someone just is clearly stepping out of those 4 boundaries that we talked about? Sometimes, look, people will forget. People will forget where they are. And I always tell this story of when I was a minister. Tongans, they love to joke and take the joke a little bit too far. And I got pulled up by one of the youth members. We like to just sort of bag on one of the kids, and like everyone does it, not just me, but all of the kids. It would just be something simple, and someone pulled me up saying, "Far, I think you're doing a little bit too much. Take it easy." I'm like, "Oh yeah, okay, sorry." And I apologized to the person as well, and to the youth group, and reminded them that that it's not fair. I don't know what goes on after they go home from youth groups. So sometimes, like me, we forget, and we step outside of those boundaries. At other times, people may deliberately act in ways that are not within those boundaries. All right, and that's sort of where the bing, bing, bing sort of goes up. That's not right. So our policy, our Safe Ministry with Children's policy, allows you to interrupt and remind others to stay in the safe ministry zone. All right. Say, hey, I noticed that you were taking Jada out to the corner and you're sort of giving them a hug. That's inappropriate. You can't do that. You need to be in the safe ministry zone. That's incorrect. And it is primarily the responsibility of us as the adults, as the leaders, to protect our campers from harm. All right. It is important to recognize that there is already a power imbalance in adult to child relationships, and that it can be difficult or impossible for a camper to call out a boundary violation that they feel that perhaps a camper's going on. I feel really gross that leader sort of hugged me in that way, but I don't know if that's correct. That kind of thinking. All right. So that's why we ask all adults to maintain a safe culture by ensuring that boundaries are maintained by everyone. If an adult or another young person or anyone is making you feel unsafe, or that you feel that your boundaries are being violated, you have every right to tell them to stop. Sometimes you may need to scream it. Sometimes you may need to put your hands up and take a step back. And when this happens, you need to tell myself or the coordinator, Lasani, about this boundary violation. Or if you become aware of any kind of concerning behavior, raise it with me ASAP. All right, don't wait. Don't wait until after the event. Even if it's 1 a.m. in the morning, come and grab me. Come and knock on my door and say, hey, Fa, I need to have a chat. Just a bit concerned about something. All right, I'm not going to be angry. I'd rather you come and do that rather than hold that in. Okay. All right. So what happens if a camper or even a leader comes and discloses information? So disclosures mean that they're coming and having a chat with you, and they're disclosing, I guess, information. They're chatting with you about something that has happened to them, that they have been either physically, emotionally, or spiritually abused. All right. The way that you respond is quite crucial. So we use this particular acronym called Be Calm. BCALM. Okay. B is just a simple technique into calming yourself down, as well as the camper. Breathe. Breathe. You can count your breaths in and out. All right. This will help you focus. Help you focus on the next 2 minutes, 5 minutes, hour of what's about to happen with this particular camper who is about to tell you something. C is to calm the camper down. That breathing technique will help as well. Remember to focus on the child and their story. Don't focus on the questions that you might need to ask. That is not your goal. The goal for you in this situation is to listen. So saying things like, this isn't your fault. I'm glad that you have been brave enough to even come and have a chat with me. All right. A is to assess if there is any immediate danger to the camper. So if it has happened on camp, or if you feel that someone that they have just talked about is about to come up to camp, we need to make sure that we are assessing that immediate danger, making sure that they are kept safe. Sometimes if that's going to happen, I will call 000 straight away. All right. Because the police will be quite helpful in this. And not only do we need to assess the immediate danger, we also need to be able to think about what's going to happen for everyone else. But that's not your focus. Everyone else, your focus is the person that you're chatting to that's disclosing the information. L is to let the person know about your reporting obligations. So sometimes the young people who come up and disclose information, they'll probably say, you need to keep this a secret. It is your opportunity. It is your prerogative, your initiative. You can't keep a secret. You need to tell them, I'm really sorry, but I can't keep this a secret. This is a hairy conversation. This is really big. And I want you to feel safe. And to feel safe, we can't keep it a secret. All right. This may stop them from telling you more. That's okay. Continue to check in with them. Tell our chaplain, which is going to be Hannah Staines, and then tell me immediately so that I can make a mental note, that I can actually report this as well. And M in our acronym is to make a report. The report that you are supposed to go to is straight to me. So I am the minister that will be for the overall event. Just handwrite down verbatim of what you can remember of your conversation. Okay. And your report is just straight to me. When a person comes to you and discloses such information, it is not your job to be a police detective or be Sherlock Holmes. Your job is to listen, to make them feel safe, and to make them feel valued. Period. Bullying will not be tolerated, friends, at Easter Madness. These campers know it. It's a thing at school. So we continue that. that bullying will not be tolerated. If you see a camper being bullied, please inform the coordinator or myself ASAP, as each camper as well as leaders are signing a code of conduct, and within that there are chats about, this kind of our behaviors and our expectations of campers as leaders, and bullying is not one of them. So if you see, it's not just campers, bullying can happen from leaders to leaders, campers to campers, leaders to campers, and campers to leaders. So if you see any of that kind of behavior, inform us. If you see something, say something. Got it? Good.